welcome to another episode of The People's Rose. I'm Jared.
I'm Brooke.
And we are a married couple. We love reality TV. We love it so much we started a podcast about it. And that's what you're listening to, or you're watching if you're watching on YouTube. The People's Rose. We watch all of our favorite reality TV shows and we talk about it. In fact, this summer we got so many reality TV shows that we're excited to talk about that we are trying to stick on a 2 schedule a week release schedule. And so in these 2 episodes, did I say 2 schedules?
Yeah, 2 episodes.
I got 2 schedules. Okay, we got 2 episodes. We're gonna have The Bachelor and Claim to Fame going on this episode. Then we'll also have Big Brother and Odds and Ends and other things going on in the next episode. Mm-hmm. We've got an exciting week in all the shows that we've watched. Mm-hmm. So without further ado, anything else they should know before we get started, Brooke?
Oh, just that it's my birthday week.
Oh, that's sweet. Happy birthday.
Okay. I love the birthday serenade.
My co-host. Happy birthday. Okay. Yeah, to you. But yeah, I'm happy that you're 25 this year.
Yeah, it feels good.
Just
it's just so young and free.
It's crazy
Young
times.
and wild and free.
Anyways, so happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
We also have the live eviction episode of Big Brother happen. So we have the live feeds up on mute. If we get any word on who won head of household, we'll maybe get some live updates in the Big Brother episode about that as well. But we got a lot to get to, so why don't we go ahead and get started, Brooke? What do you say?
All right, let's jump in.
Let's go ahead and get started with our reaction to week 4, I believe, Jenn's Bachelorette season. Episode 4, week 4, whatever it is. They are... Man, I always forget to make sure I'm good on this. We're still in Australia, I believe. No, we're in New Zealand.
Yeah, we're moved to New Zealand.
We've crossed over to New Zealand. We're still in the Oceania area, but now we're just a little ways over New Zealand.
Right.
What are your thoughts on the episode?
The drama continues. We had a modern day 2-on-1. Yeah, not really. What would you even call it?
2-on-1.
Yeah. We had the enemies both got one-on-one dates.
Right.
The only one-on-one dates of the week.
Right, and potentially either one of them could have got sent home. Both of them could have sent home.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-on-1, but they didn't have the direct confrontation with each other.
Right. Well, they did later.
True. So
because they were the only ones there in the house.
You're right.
And they showed us just a clip of it, and they basically just went back to the same thing they said last week of, I don't respect you. I don't respect you either.
Right. It was you're right. So it was a full-on soft 2-on-1.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was interesting. Oh, okay. So one thing that we had this week was Jenn started talking about an engagement.
Yeah.
This was the first time she said she was excited for an engagement at the end of this.
I'm glad we've been tracking it because we noticed it when her verb changed, when her vocab changed.
I wonder if that's because she is just like getting bigger feelings for these people so she could actually see it, or if like the producers are prompting her to say it. I don't know. It's
got to be some kind of mixture of the two. She's beginning to buy into it more, and then also there is that producer prompting. For all we know, the producers consistently have been, do you think this is possible?
Do you think you're ready for an engagement?
And you hear that if we're on a month of them constantly asking you that, even if you don't mean it, it could slip into your vocabulary.
Right, exactly.
But I think she's starting to mean it, don't you?
Yeah, I do. But I don't know, because I still feel like at the end of it, she's going to pull the old bait and switch and be like, I'm not ready for an engagement, but let's leave here together.
Yeah, I think it's up in the air. It's not solidified. Some girls have chosen guys based on who they thought was more ready for.
True.
I don't think that's how she's going to choose. But she has made comments this week along the lines of oh, Sam has been engaged before, so he's ready for marriage. He knows what a commitment like that means.
Yeah.
So it's kind of been added to her rubric a little
Oh,
bit.
that's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so right out the jump, we get a one-on-one with Sam and and of course Devin is pissed. And he's like, what does Devin say? He says something that like,
just trying to be my authentic, genuine self or something.
Yeah.
Something
He's like,
oh,
just go be your genuine, authentic self.
Right.
And
Which is, I guess, is a slight to the fact that Sean says that often.
Sam.
Yeah, Sam says that all the time.
Yeah. So basically, they go to the tallest building, or one of the tall buildings in New Zealand.
Right.
And they're like, surprise, you're going to be jumping off of it. Which, like, duh.
Yeah,
what? Yeah. And Sam is like, yeah, let's do it.
Right.
And we're going to do... No, not let's do it. We're going to do it. Like,
right.
He told the guy we're going to do it.
Exactly.
And Jenn immediately gets annoyed. Ugh. And she's like, I can't believe... Or she's like, he's just making this decision for me. And I'm, like, actually very scared. And I don't think I want to do this.
Right.
And he's like, you're doing it. Like, did not give her a choice. Uh-huh. He's like, you're doing it. And... if you don't, you'll regret it, and I don't want to look back on this as one of our first dates, and think, oh, I should have done that.
Right.
And she's kind of just like, okay, well, you're not listening to my emotional needs.
Right.
And she goes into this big thing about she's really annoyed because he needs to be better at reading her emotions.
Yeah.
So then, of course, they go out onto the side of the building, and same thing. He's like, come on, we're doing it. Let's do it.
Right.
And she's like literally crying. And she's like, I can't do this. And finally, he's like, okay, you don't have to. And she's like, oh, he gets me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Jenn, girl.
Right.
Do not forget everything that happened leading up to that, okay?
Right.
So I'm just like, Jenn, come on, girl. Like, don't forget everything that happened leading up to that, okay?
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna act like this with every hard thing.
Right. Yeah, it just was... I mean, we compared and contrasted because she liked how Marcus handled their adrenaline jumping off of high angle date. And he just was overall had a more soothing, understanding presence. I guess you could say he was more in tune to maybe how she was feeling and was acting, accordingly. And I thought it was a starker contrast, but it might be more of just about the feel and the vibe. But either way, I think it should be a sign to her.
Right.
About what's to come.
Right.
She seems to want someone more focused on... Not focused, but like at least in tune to her when she's struggling.
Right.
And not the motivator, let's do it, let's just get it done kind of,
Right.
Which some people want.
Right.
So I think she should tune into that.
Yeah.
Pay attention to it.
So then they have their dinner, and he opens up and talks about how he was engaged before,
right,
but his fiance cheated on him,
right,
and how hard that was.
Right.
And then she actually opened up a lot too, right, about her struggle with her father and how he basically left the family and wants nothing to do with her, and they have no relationships. That's very sad. So yeah, then they, bonded on that, and of course he got a rose.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much that.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I honestly thought he might have been in contention to lose, and it was a possibility he might not get a rose and get sent home.
Yeah.
But I think they
No, I think he's going all the way.
Right. And then it just wasn't. Outside the fact that jumping off a building can be really challenging. So that I was with her in that. I don't know. I just don't see them going far. And even if by chance, just on chemistry and sexual tension alone, he does go far, for some reason he's just not a serious contender in my head.
Well, I mean, do I think he's actually serious about Jenn? Not really. Do I think he's serious about winning? Absolutely.
Oh, definitely. I'm just saying I don't think realistically it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so then we had the group date, which was a rugby date, which we'll be talking more about rugby. It is the Olympic time of year of the well, it's Olympic season. It only happens once every 4 years. And we just had your typical, this was your athletic date where they get them out there and in some kind of uniform and have them play sports, let men be men. And you always have the people who are very athletic naturally.
Right.
Then you always have the people, whether they're athletic or not, who are just so amped.
Right.
They have something to prove, either about their manliness and their ego, or to Jenn or something. So you had Sam N just going after.
It was a complete shift from last week in terms of physical ability. Mind you, this is the guy who sprained his thumb at the Thunder down under. Well, and now he's out there like tackling people. He just kind of got a new attitude. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if last week was a zig, this was definitely a zag. I think this was equally about his ego and proving something to himself as a man, as it was to trying to get there with Jenn. Like he was the win. Well, I mean, I'm not saying this, but I could see how you walk away last week for thinking, man, I was wimpy. Everyone thought I was lame.
True.
I need to show them I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's saying blah, blah, blah. So he goes out there, physical competition, does the most to try to prove a point. He's over there tackling her to get some one-on-one time. And this all culminates in what can only be described as a blunder. Him wearing like a T-Birds leather jacket from Greece to the group date, cocktail, what do they call it?
And the group after party.
Yeah, after party.
And he came in with the trophy.
Right, and the trophy and his uniform on his, it was embarrassing. I don't know what producer convinced him, or if he just did that on his own.
No, but remember he gave the jersey to Jenn and it said Jenn's husband.
Yeah, ugh.
Jenn's, no. It said, his shirt said Jenn's husband, so her shirt said Sam's wife.
Oh, very embarrassing.
So it was kind of cute. I thought that was kind of cute.
It's one of those things where it's cute if both people are equally
I know. You're right.
When it's so clear that Jenn isn't as into it as he is,
yeah,
it's just kind of cringe, because hopefully you would have something in you to go like, oh, she's not as into this.
Yeah, true.
As I thought, so maybe I should chill out.
But unfortunately, the fact that he did not get that. And the guys, honestly, were trying to so respectfully let him know that he was not being socially aware.
Yeah.
And they literally, who was it that was like really...
Well, he was rubbing all the guys the wrong way. Yeah. And he was just he was saying just blunt, not even blunt, but like kind of rude comments and it upset Jonathan, and he was like, yeah.
Jonathan, that's who it was.
But all the guys were perturbed by it, and then I think in a very mature way it was handled, at least at the beginning. They almost treated him kind of like little bro, you know what I mean? They were like, listen, man, we know you're excited. We know you're worked up. You're just kind of rubbing people the wrong way.
Right.
And maybe consider that.
Well, they were very specific. They were like, the way you came in here with the trophy and you put it down in a spot where someone could sit so someone couldn't sit there was disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that's fair, and I think that's a good way to describe it. But he was just like, I don't care. What does that have to do with Jenn? And he's like, it doesn't have to do with Jenn. It has to do with us trying to get along when we're not with Jenn.
Yeah, and so that obviously... was causing people to get upset with him.
And poor guy. He had really built his confidence up, and he was like, I'm gonna kiss her tonight. I'm gonna kiss her tonight.
Yeah. Before that, he stole her away instantly. She barely sat down.
Yeah.
The guys were like, of course.
And he was like trying to hold her hand in front of everyone. It's just like kind of cringe when you look at it.
It's incredibly cringe. And then finally, like you said, he was like, I've just determined, can I kiss you? It was that exact. No, I'm joking. And so of course she rejects him. And
at that point, we all knew.
But even prior to that, because he's stolen her away to even get to that point, he had upset Thomas, who seems to only exist to hang out with everybody but Jenn, as I saw online,
and have beef with people.
Yeah, he was just you're just so disrespectful.
Yeah,
and you're just like, Thomas, calm down. So it was kind of more the same, but she did, I think, the right thing.
Definitely.
She clearly was not into him, and even if she could see maybe she's further along with other guys. I think she's confident she can send her husband home or her long-term boyfriend.
Right.
And that was it, huh?
Yeah.
So after that, we have our
wait, who got the rose? The group date rose?
Yes, the group date rose.
I forgot to write it down.
Went to Marcus. Yeah, let's talk about that, because Marcus.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, I guess she could tell he was off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "What's going on?" Oh no, if he was hurting or something.
He hurt his shoulder during the game,
right? And she wanted to comfort him. He's like, "I'm good, I'm good."
Because she's like in PA school, so she's like, "Let me check your shoulder."
Yeah, but she was honestly, I think, in a really kind way. She's like, "I want to be here to help you."
Yeah.
And that's part of a relationship I'm looking for. So just know that. And he said, "I know you were like mad at him at first, but I thought it was very mature to say, he's like, oh, I do have a problem being vulnerable, and I want to get there." Well, not mad at him. You were just like, that's a red flag that he's not being vulnerable.
I was like,
well, I do, because I was like, well, I think it's mature that he said, I'm not ready to get there yet, but I'm trying.
Oh, okay.
He communicated that like it would be unnatural for me to just open up. It's not going to happen, but I do want to, and I am trying.
Okay, I'll agree.
So yeah, so he's crying. They cried a little bit. They had a connection. I did feel a good connection.
Yeah.
I haven't researched this at all, so I don't even really want to dive into it online. I mean, on the pod, until we know more about it. Unfortunately, I have seen some whispers of maybe him having a kind of checkered past.
Allegedly.
Yeah, being a little bit of a player, but a lot of these guys could have that in the past. Again, it's just rumors. Take it with a grain of salt. As for right now, on the context of the show, what we've seen, he is looking like they have a connection, and he does seem like a nice guy.
Yeah, I agree.
So he got the group date rose.
Yes. Okay, you're right.
Mm-hmm. And then after that,
the one-on-one with Devin.
Now, prior to that, actually, while that's going on, it's just Devin and Sam at the house. And you're right. That's when they had their altercation.
I don't respect you. I don't respect you.
I don't have nothing to say about you. Good, because I don't have anything to say about you. Then why are you talking about it? Well, you're the one talking about me. I would never talk about you. It's like it kind of went round and round in circles.
Exactly.
They're just two guys that would never hang out or ever.
Yeah, I think and I think they know that they're like each other's biggest competition at this point. Yeah.
Which is honestly, I could see Sam trying to emulate them a little bit, because he probably saw that they both had great relationships and they're both the most kind of boisterous.
Yeah.
And so maybe he's like, I need to puff up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that backfired on him.
Right. So I'm just going to say it. I'm Team Devin.
Yeah. I do think I am also Team Devin. So on their one-on-one date, they had kind of a, indigenous spiritual date, whatever you want to call it, where they got in touch with I believe, if I remember correctly, and it's New Zealand, so I don't know why it wouldn't be, the Maori culture. They saw a couple hakas, I believe. They or one haka saying, no, it was a couple hakas.
There was a haka at the rugby.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And then there was a haka at this, but then there was a song afterwards. Yeah,
they performed. They had some talks about where they came from. She got more into her Vietnamese background, her Buddhism beliefs, and how she wants to bring that in her family life. He discussed his family life, the respect he has for his mother,
and how he wants to have kids, and be a good dad.
Yep, and he was respectful of her religious beliefs and choices, and so there wasn't any friction there. And they just were really communicating. And establishing ground that even she admitted she hadn't seen that side of him really, or heard those things about him. And it just seemed natural. At the beginning, he was like, I'm a little nervous, but it's a good nervous because I like you, And that, that's where they started. And at the end of the date, at the whatever you call it. He was at the meal. He was saying that he was falling for her.
Okay, wait. I think I got it wrong. That's when she talked about her dad.
Mm-hmm.
I said she talked about it with Sam. She didn't.
She talked about it with Sam too.
Did she?
She talked about it with Sam because Sam immediately launched into his traumas with the broken engagement.
Okay.
See, that's another thing about Sam is that he wasn't really a question asker.
Oh.
Like, she goes blah, blah, blah. She says the whole thing. I don't want to blah, blah, blah. She tells her stuff. And he's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been hurt too. You know what I mean? Now, they could have edited out him being understanding and caring and wanting to see more about her.
Mm-hmm.
But he felt like more just like okay, your sad story, my sad story. Instead of wanting to learn who she is behind the sad story.
Right. Yeah. Well, with Devin, they both had talked about how their dads were not in the picture like they should have been or could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, oh wow, we actually have a lot in common. Mm-hmm. So they definitely bonded over that.
Yeah, they it was, I guess she is at this point just more being her. She is opening up her vulnerabilities or her inside thoughts on just love and life, because she is talking more about long-term commitments, about engagement. She's sharing more intimate sides of her history and her past vulnerabilities and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, it was a good date. Obviously, he got the rose.
Yep.
And I liked New Zealand. The little bit we saw of it at the indigenous state.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And I forget the city they were in, but at the tower that they were looking out on.
Auckland?
I think it was.
I think it was Auckland.
Yeah, so it looked pretty nice. And it was nice to get like a full-on indigenous and not just and I don't want to call it hokey because I don't want to minimize what they've done in the past, but it felt like in the past they would have like I don't want to air quote it, but like a witch doctor or a spiritual quote unquote healer come out, but that looked like they were just from the resort maybe, and they would have them talk or whatever. This felt like they got to learn a little bit about Maori culture and eat some Maori food, and maybe it's all the same, but I just felt more intentional this episode.
It felt very loving and family oriented.
Oh yeah,
which I think makes a big difference too.
Yeah, speaking about New Zealand and the Olympics, we saw this video, the Olympic Village, the New Zealand. Was it? No, that was Fiji. Oh
yeah.
But Fiji's a different place, so it's not relative to what I was about to say. But New Zealand also is having a good Olympics. I'll say that.
Well, then we have a bombshell.
Yeah, okay. So we're looking at the time. Cocktail party is not. We're like, that's not. Unless,
right.
But lo and behold, Jesse, I like how they bricked it. It was almost like breaking news.
So
he's
dramatic.
They changed to like a almost shaky cam.
Yeah.
A handheld cam.
Right. An iPhone. Filmed on iPhone.
Yeah. And then Jesse, I forgot his last name for some reason.
Palmer is
like, look, we don't have a lot of time.
This is unprecedented.
We're literally about to fulfill
the cocktail party is hours away.
And then he explains the twist, the surprise, whatever you want to call it. What's happening, Brooke? What does Jesse tell us?
Listen, one of Jen's exes has taken it upon himself.
A good ex, not the bad one.
Yes, to fly himself all the way to New Zealand
on his own dime
to try and win over Jen's heart and become part of the season.
An ex is a
all
stretch.
I have to say is that is stalker behavior. I do not find that romantic.
Well, let me explain why I think that's different. And I think I hear what you're saying, but X is I think X is a stretch because they were together for 3 to 4 months.
Okay,
3 years ago.
Fair.
And then it became a situationship, friendship kind of situation.
True.
And that they didn't say this on national TV, ABC, but they insinuated they did say they were friends, but maybe a little more than friends these last 3 years with repeated run-ins. And she said he became someone he really cares about. There's also, judging by the conversation, she knew about. They have mutual friends who were having a wedding.
Yeah.
Who she knew about the date.
He was like, I ditched the weddings and
she was like, you didn't go to the wedding?
flew here instead, and he said the weddings, you were supposed to be at.
Right, that
So
that we were supposed to
we were supposed to be at, yeah.
Right, almost as if they were planning to go together before she
Right.
got the opportunity.
Right.
And then she said something to the effect, didn't she say this? That had she not been cast as the Bachelorette, they would still be in a
I don't know if she said that.
or they would have gone to the wedding together.
I don't know if she said that.
I
She
almost-
just kept saying that they were just friends.
No, I almost am certain she said that. Had I not been on this show, I didn't plan on ending that relationship.
Oh.
So it wasn't like, oh, he was bad to me. Oh, we cheated. Oh, we grew apart. It was just like I had the opportunity to date 25 guys on The Bachelorette.
But then she said,
and we're skipping over the fact that when he showed up, there was no, how dare you? I told you to leave me alone. She immediately, her face started beaming.
Okay, fair.
So I think stalker is more like, I've said no, I don't know you, stuff like
fair.
that. So our situationship where you're like, oh, how crazy would it have been if he'd been on the show, and then he shows up, is not a stalker, in my opinion.
Fair. Well, okay, so another important factor, I think, is that he was kind of saying, like, I'm ready, like, I want to give this a try. And she was like, oh, now you're ready for an engagement?
Exactly.
So I'm like, dang, was she, like, really into him 3 years ago and, like, wanted more? And he was just like, I'm not ready? That's kind of the vibe I was picking up on.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, are you ready now? And he said, yeah, if that's... Didn't he say something to the effect, if that's what you need or something?
I don't remember.
He was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll join the show. He said, I'd rather date just you, but if you need me to prove my commitment, yeah, I'll come on the show. And, let's be honest here. I don't think he's a stalker. I think he is maybe taking advantage of the fact that his situationship just became The Bachelorette, and now he has a chance to go on national TV as well.
For sure.
Come on now.
And those producers aren't just putting anyone on there.
Exactly. They've had exes come in the past, but some they blurred out.
Yeah.
Some they haven't. I'm sure some exes have tried, and they said, no.
Yeah.
Thanks. So the fact that he made it there, and they were like, yeah, sure. Because they made it seem. Actually, I think they did admit that he was a producer had met him at the airport. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he was not just some random guy that showed up and they said, sure, go talk to Jenn.
Yeah.
There was coordination involved.
Yeah. How did he even know they were in New Zealand? Is that not hard to find?
They said he reached out to a producer.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were probably, whatever. I'm sure we'll have to find either when the NDAs are up, I'm sure they'll explain it further.
Do you remember his name? I don't even remember his name.
Yeah, I looked it up. It was, but I forgot it.
Okay.
But yeah. I actually don't think he'll be on the show long.
I have no idea.
They said
honestly,
you can join the rose ceremony.
Yeah.
And they were like, they showed previews, and of course the guys were upset.
Right.
And also, we didn't see him in a single preview for any other part
but of course they're not going to show him. This is
even in this preview for the next episode, they didn't show him in any footage past him walking up to the guys.
True.
I think what happens is I have no clue, but if I had to guess, she's gonna be like, you had 3 years to decide.
That could be true.
You had 3 years to decide you want to be with me.
And maybe once she sees like the reaction from the cocktail party, she'll just kind of be like.
But I'm hoping it's less about the other guys, more about like, you definitely had your chance.
Yeah, true.
And you know what I mean? I don't want, and that a lot of good love stories start that way. Not ours, but we got friends. Start that way. So, I'm not saying it's impossible for that to happen. I am saying sometimes it can be like, so, you know what I mean? Because I can't be your situationship anymore. Now it's the for real kind of deal.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't think he sticks around past this episode. What do you think? What's your guess?
I could see it going either way, honestly.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe that's why they couldn't give us any indication. I will say, when the one thing I was about to say it could be him she's talking to at the final ceremony that they showed a preview of, but I doubt it because in that preview, she's looking up. Like her eye line is much further, or a good deal further above her height. And that guy is about a little bit taller than her.
Okay, Mr. Sleuth.
Yeah, just call me CIA.
Yeah,
CIA agent.
for real.
Speaking of CIA agents, that's gonna be relevant to our next show. Do we have anything else on the Bachelorette?
No,
we didn't get a rose ceremony, so we gotta to be continued.
Cliffhanger.
So to be continued is what we'll say to that discussion. We also are watching Claim to Fame, and oh my,
this season is messy.
This season's crazy.
It's the best so far. I feel like it's
is.
gotten better every season.
It truly has, and I'm just I'm shocked by how much they're turning up.
Yeah.
There was some stuff happening that I had the strategies I haven't thought of this season.
Right.
And there's twists that I did not see coming.
And there's people just like at each other's throats. Like okay, so let's just get into it. No one can stand Adam.
Yeah, he's horrible.
Because Adam knows nothing about celebrities.
Not only does he know nothing about celebrities, when they present him with good information, he's like, nah, I don't see it.
Or he's like, I don't know who that is.
Right.
Like I feel like there's yet to be one person that he's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like why and everyone's like, he's entitled, he's not helping. So he thinks he should just be getting clues. Right. But I will say this, he in the beginning was the one that approached HUD and Naomi for an alliance, right?
Well, think about it. That was smart for him, because
that's what I'm saying.
Just a chance for him to be entitled.
But that's what I was gonna say is that was probably his best move, knowing that he's not good with celebrities. He needed to form an alliance, and that's what he did. Did he play it right? No, because he should have been like maybe a little bit more confident in. Just fake it, dude. Like, at least fake it.
He's just so bad. So, yeah, like, if you're watching Claim to Fame, you know it. But like, when they give him clues, he won't listen. When they're the right clues.
Right.
He doesn't share info with his alliance members or with anyone else, for that matter.
Right.
The info he did share with one person got them sent out. That's how wrong it was. Talking about Miguel.
Oh, yeah.
He is entitled, and he does exploit. Give me your answers.
Wait, who did he tell? Oh, he told Miguel that Diedrich was Little Richard.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And now he thinks Diedrich is Randy Jackson. It's like, are you really going to be 0 for 2 when it's
he's
been the most
so
obvious,
uncertain that it's not Michael Jackson?
The second. It took Diedrich, maybe 2 times on screen for him to go, oh, Michael Jackson. Before even the Michael Jackson thing happened.
Yeah.
And so for the fact that he's so obstinate about that, but he's just not he's not at least in the show, he hasn't even just been kind to be around. He's rude to people. He's been confrontational. Yeah. He's been, it hasn't been good.
Yeah. And then it makes everybody mad because they don't even have a guess for who his celebrity is.
Right. They're thinking David Schwimmer. I did not think it's David Schwimmer. And they also said Owen Wilson. It does not seem like Owen Wilson. But he gets zero reaction when people are trying to zero in on him.
Right.
So what happened this week of Claim to Fame? What made this such a good episode? Well, we've had our villain. I put Adam maybe just a little bit below. Not a little bit. It's a lot of bit. But on reality TV, he's second to Angela right now for villains. When it comes to villains for me.
Really? I think Sam M might be up there.
I don't care. For guys like that, I just don't care. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. So what happened? We've got the competition this week they did it earlier than I think they usually do, but I guess maybe not. They had the lie detector, and they had them the house guests ask the other house guests who were strapped up to this fictional lie detector, and they had them, ask them any questions they wanted to, and then the producers obviously know if the questions are yes or right, and so they're graded whichever house guest guess, and then the house guests have to guess, obviously. if they think the person's lying or not lying, and whoever had the best on their test win. The person who won was Shane, who had a standout episode. He seems to know who Naomi was. He seems to have ends on everybody. They have no clue who he is. It seems he won the game, so he had immunity. He had a great game all around.
Yeah.
He pulled Mackenzie's clue and now knows. Well, we'll get to that. So,
So before they had the competition, Shane, Naomi, and Danny, right, were talking, and they were like made a pact of like, whoever goes in there, let's pull Adam's clues that we can get him out.
And that's against that. Naomi was in an alliance with Hood and Adam.
Right. Like, you could see at this point Naomi was turning on them.
Yeah.
She was like so over Adam.
Yeah, truly. And she had Hud's clues, so she felt safe.
Right.
That's because she thinks she knows Hud 100%.
So then what ended up happening was, in this competition, Adam was like, Naomi, help me. And she was like, no. And so then Adam and Hud ended up being in the bottom.
Right.
So since they were in the bottom, Shane was like, well, I'm not going to pull Adam's clue. He's going to go home tonight.
Right.
Remember that?
Right. So he pulls Mackenzie's clue.
Well, in the midst of this, Hud is kind of like...
Whoa. Okay, let's back up. A lot is happening. That's what I'm saying. So we don't want to just jump through that, because also Danny is another contestant.
Yeah.
Danny was giving Adam, because they said, listen, you're getting pulled.
Yeah.
Dietrich is Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Mackenzie, all of nowhere, is like, I don't want him to guess me. He's like, Mackenzie, no one knows who you are.
Yeah.
She was trying to get him to go on HUD, which didn't make any sense.
Right.
But Danny, being nice, was like, okay, I'm trying to help you out, man. You don't seem to know anything. Dietrich is Michael Jackson. And then Adam's like, well, even before that, he was trying to give him the clue so he would guess it himself.
Danny was giving him the clue.
Yeah, Danny was giving Adam the clue for Dietrich. That was like, who's the scarecrow in The Wiz that walks backwards?
Yeah.
And Adam was like,
I don't
clue.
know. And
like,
Adam...
they call Michael Jackson in The Wiz? And he's like, it's Michael Jackson. And Adam was like, nah, I think it's Randy Jackson.
Yeah. And Danny should have just been like, yeah, go with Danny. Go with Randy Jackson. But Adam was like, no, I want to actually see the clue. And Danny was like, no, bro, I'm literally telling it to you.
Right.
But I guess Adam didn't trust him. And so he was just like, no, I need to actually see it. Right.
But Danny is trying to help him, because I guess he's like, he's confident, but he didn't want to burn the Dietrich clue.
Yeah.
But, he had someone who was helping him. Again, this is another person who's helping him. He's just like refusing to.
Yeah.
So now that he's in the bottom, he's like, you said you'd show me the clue. And Danny's like, I told you who it is.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't actually say that. And I've given you a lot of information.
So they have this huge fight.
Yeah.
Not a huge fight. It's a medium fight. And so now Adam's at rock bottom.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have anybody. He doesn't have a clue for anybody.
Yeah.
Until.
Well, in the midst of all of this, Hud is realizing that Naomi is like turning on Adam. And so he's like, well, crap, what does that mean for me?
Right.
Because she has my clue.
Right.
Like, is she turning on me too?
Right.
So in the lie detector test, the questions that they were asking Naomi, it became very apparent that somebody in there knew who she was.
Right.
They were like, is your celebrity have red hair?
Were they in the Brat Pack?
Were they in the Brat Pack? Were they in 16 Candles?
Right.
And so I don't know if that's what clued Hud in.
Nah.
Or if it was something else.
Well, they showed what clued Hud in.
He was... I didn't know if that was true.
You think that was edited?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
But they showed a clip.
You're right. When the questions... If you know who Molly Ringwald is...
Yeah.
When those questions come through, you're like, oh.
Yeah. But they did show a clip of who was it talking at the pool.
Mackenzie about...
Yes.
Gracie Lou pulling Naomi's glue.
Shane somehow managed to get Gracie Lou's clue.
He's playing a great game.
He is.
He's playing a great game.
Get her clue on Naomi, and did he show it to Mackenzie?
No, he
just told her. He told Mackenzie. So then they were talking about it, and then it appeared that Hud overheard them. So in the 9th hour, HUD said, well, maybe you could just go for go for Naomi.
Yeah.
And he said, I think I know who it is.
And he told him it was Molly
Ringwald. And the freaking dumb Adam.
He knew.
The dumb Adam.
He knew he had to write it down. At least at bare minimum, he knew he had to write it down.
He did not know who Molly Ringwald was. So he writes on his arm. So he gets up there to go guess, right? Of course, everyone picks him to be the guesser, thinking, oh, he doesn't know anybody. He's going to get it wrong.
And maybe he'll guess Dietrich.
Yeah.
And he'll guess Randy Jackson.
Right. Well, in a shocking turn of events, he guesses Naomi.
And Mackenzie jumped out of it. People were shocked.
He goes up there and is looking at his wrist and says Molly Ringwald, and he got it.
He got it because she is, of course. It was once you heard the clue and you look at her, she looks like Molly Ringwald. Turns out she's Molly Ringwald's cousin, also like sort of adoptive sister. They grew
up together.
Well, she didn't say they grew up together. They're adopted sister, and they would have the same parents.
Okay.
Because Molly Ringwald's parents ended up adopting her.
She didn't say adopted. She said she moved in with them when she was
with her parents. But if Molly Ringwald's like 50.
Okay, you're right.
She looked like 30. So if Molly Ringwald's moved out,
you're right.
That's why I didn't say they didn't grow up together.
Okay.
They just shared parents.
Fair. So then the dumb Adam. I'm sorry, I'm calling you dumb, but Adam, please. Throws HUD under the bus.
Yeah, he was like, I wouldn't have done that without HUD.
He's like, shout out to HUD.
And everyone's like,
and right. And HUD's just like, oh my gosh.
So
Adam,
now HUD
really?
has to explain why he participated. It's because Naomi had his clue.
Right. So Naomi was so mad. She told everyone bye except for them two. Yeah. Totally cold-shouldered them.
This was our first kind of alliance betrayal, maybe? Not a first,
for sure.
But it's like a major one.
But Naomi really, she did not play games.
She didn't, and that's her downfall because she was like she knew pop culture very well.
Yes.
But she didn't really stick to her alliance.
No.
Once she found out people knew who she was, because once you find out it's Molly Ringwald, it's obvious.
Yeah.
She didn't navigate that correctly.
Yeah.
So.
And the moment Adam started getting on her nerves, it was all over her face. Like, she could not hide it. They had multiple...
Which I fear you would have trouble with as well.
Excuse me. They had multiple interactions over the course of the episode where she was just like so done with him.
Yeah.
And I can understand why that scared HUD.
Yeah, definitely. It just it was just a shocking, crazy episode. We got stuff we'd never seen before in Claim to Fame. And to be honest, I think it's one of the best episodes of Claim to Fame ever, in my opinion.
For sure.
Who do we got the clue from Mackenzie. I don't remember the clue. Are you able to pull it up quickly? Or actually, don't worry about it. It was about
all I remember
being a
was 6'6" country singer, country musician.
And then it was some kind of animal. It was a monkey or a gorilla. Mm-hmm. And then the word FOR in a house
with a circle.
Right. So like monkey house for.
And then an ice cube.
Ice cube. So we don't know what that means, but how many 6'6" country singers are there? So I'm gonna say Blake Shelton. Should we? I'm scared to look up is Blake Shelton 6? I'll just look up Blake Shelton height, and that'll give us an idea of if that's who it is, right? Yeah. I think that's fair. We're not on the show.
Maybe it's like Randy Travis.
Randy Travis.
Yeah, because some people in the house were saying Randy. Oh, wait. They were saying Randy Jackson.
I was like, who said Randy Travis?
Okay, but Randy Travis is a country singer, too.
And he's 6'6"?
I don't know. Let's look it up.
That's what I'm looking up.
Actually, I feel like somebody was guessing Randy Travis last season.
This is awesome podcasting right now. I'm going to have to edit this. Us just silently.
Oh, he's Blake only 5'9".
Blake Shelton? Okay. Blake Shelton is 6'5".
Oh.
But he might have lied and said he was 6'6".
Wow.
And then this person popped up as 6'6" exactly. Trace Adkins.
Oh, she kind of looks like Trace Adkins.
It's Trace
Do
Adkins.
you see Trace Adkins?
Yeah, I'm looking at his picture, and it's
she
Trace
kind of
Adkins.
looks like him.
I don't want to search anymore to be spoiled, and like I don't like to be spoiled, but just we saw a picture of him, and he's 6'6", so Trace Adkins. Can I say something?
What?
If I was in that house, you could give me 5 million guesses of country singers, and I would never ever guess Trace Adkins.
Trace Adkins sings "Honky Tonk Badonkadonk."
Don't know. Never heard that song.
Maybe that clue is badonkadonk.
And maybe that's a honky tonk piano. So again, like that's what it is with these country singers, man. If you're not into country music, you basically have a free pass to the finals. Because again, I don't know who Trace Adkins is. It could be one of those clues where you'd have to give me the letters of his name, TR blank CE blank DKI blank. You know what I'm trying to say? You have to be that obvious.
Yeah.
Because you could say country music star starts with a T. First name starts with a T, last name starts with an A. I'd be like, no clue. Tracy Adams, you know what I'm saying?
Trace Adkins. That has to be who it is.
So I think she just got a free pass to the final because I don't think she's famous enough that normal. I don't want to say normal. That non-country listeners,
non-country fans,
know that he's a 6'6" country.
Yeah,
singer.
for sure.
That's another thing. They'd be like 6'6" country singer Jared. That's the only one. I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
Tammy Wynette, was she that tall?
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, you know, that's interesting. Okay, well, another week of Claim to Fame. Another week of The Bachelorette. What do you think left on Claim to Fame?
No, I think that's it.
We also learned that this season of Claim to Fame and the first episode of The Bachelorette was filmed at the same mansion.
Yeah.
So that's something you're going to hear at every podcast.
Yeah.
It's a little inside baseball.
Inside scoop for you. Wait, how did we find that out?
Because I was looking at them and I was like, this is the same place. I said, this is the same place that they filmed The Bachelorette. It says that The Bachelorette mansion.
But then you confirmed it somewhere?
Yeah, I just looked it up. And it was an article. It's like, you might have noticed.
Oh, it was an article.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Pause. Why does Leah have an ice pack on her face?
Okay, well, we'll save that for the Big Brother podcast.
Okay.
We're talking Bachelorette and Claim to Fame. If you're excited to talk about this latest week of Big Brother, we're going to do that in another episode. We try to release these at the exact same time. So unless you're up, you happen to be up, early Friday morning when these get released, you only have to wait 20 minutes for me to edit the second episode.
Wow.
Long story short.
Lucky you.
Big Brother, we've got an episode, The Bachelor recap. That's what this one. And they're coming up with an episode of Big Brother and our reality Olympic Awards. So if you're excited to talk about that or listen to that, please listen to that episode. It should be the next episode in your queue. So thank you for listening to this one. We're discussing the ABC reality shows this week. And we hope to hear you. We hope that you listen to us again our next episode or next week when we continue talking Bachelorette and Claim to Fame. So we pray that God bless you. And bye. See you soon.
Bye. Peace and blessings.